Hey guys, long time no hear, eh? Alright, well this will just be an update on what I have been doing to this car. As the title says, it's a VZ SS. It's a 2004 model with an LS1 V8, automatic, and I got it with some low Ks, but with the amount of things that I've had to change on it, I don't know about these Ks. And really, when you get a cluster without the paperwork or without the service history to match, you know how warranted are those Ks really? Because I don't know, it had so many noises at the front. I pretty much eliminated all the noises. I've only got one more thing to do, is that's the caster rod bushes, the front ones. I've changed everything at the front of this. It was knocking everywhere. What did I change? So on here I changed the struts because I wanted it lower anyway. It's nice and low now. I'm going to change. I've got another set of wheels I'm going to be putting on it. Changing these wheels out. I'll put some lowered King Springs ultra lows all round with some Monroe GT lowered shocks and struts. So I did that. What else have I done? I've done the top bearings as well on there. The top bearings and bush, the strut mounts. So they're done. I did the sway bar bushes. They're done, but I'm not really happy with them. I've done the lower control arms. I just changed the whole control arms instead of getting bushes pressed in there. So that's changed the ball joint and the bush. Yeah. This one here, I've got some video footage of it. I actually changed it with some Super Pro bushes, and I think I eliminated some noises, and when I put the Super Pro bushes in it, it created another one. I've got some footage of that, so I might put that in there. So as you can see from underneath, you can hear the knocking of this whole thing moving forwards and backwards, because the Super Pro have got so many washers and shims that this, under braking then accelerating, it was just too much clunking around. So I took it back. I don't know what Super Pro is like really. Super Pro bushes are like, but I know I changed where's down there, the sway bar bushes to Super Pro, and I'm getting movement in that as well. So they asked for the size of the sway bar. I measured it, sent them the details, I got the bushes, I fitted it, and now the sway bars move left to right under heavy steering, and to the point where the sway bar's banging onto the K-frame. So yeah, that's not right. So I don't know if they give me the wrong size, but something has to be done about that as well. What else did I change? I changed the sway bar links as well. I did that a couple of times. But at the moment, I think there's still movement in that sway bar because of the bushes, and there's still a bit of creaking through those caster rod bushes. So I've got some new ones of those. But the biggest issue I've come across now, which is going to be a bitch to do, is this engine. And this is another thing that questions me about the Ks on this car. It's meant to have, well, now I've got 114,000 Ks. And back there, behind the head, so let's say behind that head is the same as the front of this head. You see a wash plug? Yeah. Well, the one behind the head is leaking. And someone did a dodgy fix on there with some sealant. But, yeah, it's still leaking. It's not leaking heaps, like, it doesn't really go through much water at all. Even on hot days, 35-degree days, it's still not really going through much water. But it's just knowing it's there. So I've looked online, and people say, oh yeah, you're gonna have to, there's one way of doing it, is taking the head off. But then you take the heads off, you need all new gaskets, new seals, probably machine the heads. I don't know. Then the other way, some people say, is to take engine transmission out and do it. But I'm thinking maybe there might be a possibility that I might be able to just maybe take the motor. I was actually thinking of just lowering the K-frame, or just unbolting the K-frame, so everything is still bolted to the car. Everything's still bolted to the motor. Get rid of this intake, get rid of the radiator, and then unbolt the K-frame, lower onto a jack, and then unbolt the auto mount and lower that onto a jack. And I was just thinking maybe just because at the front here you got so much room, it's just pushing it forward. I don't know if I'll be able to do it with a jack though. I do know someone with an engine crane, so I might have to borrow that, because over here there's heaps of room here, but if you go underneath you get a little bit less. So where is it? So you got the bush to there, and you got the pipes and all that shit in the way. So that's why I was thinking maybe dropping it down a bit, then moving it forward just enough. Just enough to give me some room, but I think it's going to be awkward as hell anyway, even if I do that. I won't be able to see what I'm doing. I'm thinking the motor will have to come out. Because even if you move it by that much, and it's not here, it's down there, it's still going to be awkward as hell to do. I'm thinking I might have to rip the engine out, which I didn't really want to do. But yeah, I don't know, I could leave it, but just knowing that thing leaks all the time, bit of a shit. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. Otherwise I've pretty much kept the car stock. I did buy another intake for it, but I was going to do the I've got the over the radiator intake, which is the ramjet. So it goes like that. But I was going to do that next, but then I found out the leak on the wash plug. So I'm gonna have to do that first. I did change the exhaust. I did change the exhaust on this to just a catback system, a redback catback. I'll put the footage in now. But I'll do about an hour's driving, and it wasn't bad. At 100 k's, it actually sounded quieter than down low. So it's just, yeah, for everyday driving, it was too much for me. I don't know. It's a disappointment. It's really disappointing, really, because I love the V8 sound, but I can't deal with it every day like that. I was thinking maybe going the, if someone can work it out for me, going on like an exhaust cutout setup that works on vacuum. I know there's a company out there that's made a system that works off the RPMs. It's a really expensive unit. You're looking at nearly $2,000, which is, I don't want to spend that sort of money on just an exhaust. But for $2,000, you can actually choose at which rev range the exhaust opens up in the muffler. So, you know, you're doing 2,000, cruising along, hit 3 or 4, bang, opens up, sounds like a V8. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've got other plans than performance mods on this. I just wouldn't mind this having a bit more pickup down low. It is on gas. This system, it's not a cheap system. The previous owner told me they spent $5.5 grand on this gas system. It's a IMCO system. And what it does is, you're cruising around on gas, but as soon as you get to a certain rev range or throttle position, it switches to petrol. And most of the time you don't feel a difference in, you know, it's not like a big noise and clunk and feeling when it switches over or transitions. It's quite smooth. And then when you back off, it goes back to gas. So it's not bad. It's just, I think it needs a bit of tuning down low on the gas, I guess. I was looking into a high stall converter, but then you're dealing with a high revving motor off the lines all the time. It's more of a drag thing. Then I looked at maybe some diff gears. Same thing. I do highway Ks a lot. You know, I'll rev higher. Go through more fuel. And that's the reason why I got this car on gas in the first place. Is I wanted a V8, but it had to be on gas because I do so many Ks. And the power's still good. It's just, yeah, it's not bad off the line. With the aircon on and gas, it's pretty shocking. But the gas itself, it's not too bad. I think if you plant the gas, foot down to the boards on the gas, it sort of takes a couple of seconds to think about it. But if you sort of ease it up, like I've dragged some people on the road and just off the lines, and this thing goes well, and it's gas. So I'm happy with the power of it. I just wouldn't mind a bit more pickup off the line. You know, if I put my foot on the brake and the other one on the accelerator, it'll spin up the back wheels easy as. You know, it's got I think it's 250 kilowatts, so plenty of grunt there. Just wouldn't mind more pickup. But inside there was this ugly looking screen up on there. I got rid of that. That was a reverse camera. The guy who did the road with, he said get rid of it, that looks horrible and it's sort of dangerous the way it was mounted. Over here there was a reverse sensor display unit, which looked pretty crappy as well. So I got rid of that. I just tucked it into the dash. You can still hear it. So I'm gonna have to maybe put a gauge on there, because that looks pretty crap as well. But other than that, I guess for a 14-year-old car it's alright. It's no show car. It's got little things like that. Chips, which I'll fix up. A little scratch, which I'll fix up. Just little things like that. But in general, for a car of this age, on our roads, it's pretty clean. Pretty neat. So yeah. So yeah, this new hobby has been keeping me busy. So that's not bad. I did upgrade the brakes as well on this to some D-Max or whatever, some cheap brand on eBay. And to me personally, they are absolute rubbish. Worst brakes I've ever put on a car. I'll go stock over these brakes any day. These are slotted and dimpled, and they're noisy as hell under high. Like, let's say you're doing 100 k's an hour and you've got to jump on the brakes. Holy hell, it feels like it's metal to metal. I pulled them out, checked them. It's all, brakes are brakes. You can only put them in one way. But they feel shit. So at some stage I'll rip them out, put some stock brakes in. These tyres, yeah, these wheels and tyres, will change them. And yeah, I've got a couple more sort of cosmetic changes I want to do to this later on. I just want to get these Welsh plug issue sorted, and I'll be happy then. Welsh plug, intake, get the mathless tune done to it, and she should be sweet. I reckon the mathless tune will give it some go. You know, I reckon that'll be the go. But yeah, so it's been a while since I did a video. Been wanting to do one for a while, but just never had the time to put the car here, and it's sort of clean at the moment. This colour, I must say, compared to white, this is like, it's like a black to me. It's so hard to, like this, it's all dusty now. Yeah, it's, once this car's dirty, it looks pretty crappy. It's like a crappy blue when it's dirty. Whereas the white cars I've had in the past, they sort of still look decent. Yeah. At some stage I'll black all these out. I just want the blue and black theme. I'm not really a fan of chrome. Unfortunately, there's chrome in the lights. I won't be bothering about them. But yeah. There was quite a while there that I had my doubts about keeping this car, because I went from 2007, quiet, smooth, few more sort of luxuries, newer model car, to 2004, older shape car, couple of less luxuries inside, like this hasn't got intermediate wipers and just little things that, like even something like when you indicate, instead of putting your indicator on and holding it, with the other car I had, you just hit it once and it clicked 3 times, you know. This one doesn't do it. It's just little things like that you get used to out of a newer car. But otherwise, no, this one's good. This one pretty much, body wise and paint wise, is in better condition. The other one, interior, it's about the same as the other one. Mechanically, Mechanics are not, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, this one. Like, the engine is strong, auto's good, diff's good. Brakes not so good anymore. Well, when I had it, the brakes were pretty much gone or warped. So I put these new brakes for the road with as well, I think. And yeah, they're rubbish. They're meant to be ceramic pads. I asked the guy, listen, these pads, do you have to warm them up for them to work properly? No, they're good. They're good even when they're cold. Well, that's bullshit, because when they're cold, they're even worse. I did email him about the issues. Didn't answer, so I won't be going back there again. And I reckon these brakes make like a little ticking sound because the pads sort of just touch on the dimples. Let's see if you can see the brakes. Yeah, see how you got your slotted and then your little dimples between the slots? Yeah, well, I've got to say, this is the first car I've had dimpled and slotted, and I won't be going back. I think when you're driving you hear this slight clicking, like a real fast clicking sound, and I reckon it's the brakes. But it was cheap. I think it was $280 all up. All new rotors, all new pads. You know, I just fitted myself. And yeah, it all went easy. But yeah, after bedding them in for a week, still no good. So I haven't got the boxes anymore. I threw them out, but yeah, I think they're like a D Max or some shit on eBay. I got them. But yeah, all right. Well, hope you've enjoyed this. To maybe some new viewers or my old viewers. This is totally different to what I was doing. So yeah, so that's the update. Alright, I'll leave you to it for the moment. And catch you next time. See yous.